Viking longships were not built for comfort, but for survival. Most measured between 18 and 25 meters in length, crafted from overlapping oak planks. Fully loaded with crew, supplies, weapons, and water, a single ship could weigh close to 9 tons. Every curve of its hull was designed to cross open seas, not to conquer them, but to endure them. A longship of this size carried far more than wood and sail. On board, between 40 and 60 men shared a narrow space, barely 5 meters wide. Fully loaded with food, weapons, water, and equipment, the ship weighed close to 9 tons. Each man had his place, his oar, and almost no room to move. There were no cabins, no shelter, only benches, ropes, and the constant motion of the sea. For days or even weeks, this floating structure became their entire world. Before any sail was raised, everything was prepared. Food, water, tools, nothing was loaded at the last moment. Only what was essential went aboard, sealed in barrels and leather bags to survive salt, cold, and time. A longship could carry between 40 and 60 men, and every extra weight mattered. Too much cargo slowed the ship. Too little could mean death at sea. Loading a drakkar was not a ritual, it was calculation. Before leaving open waters, the Vikings lingered at the edge of the harbor. Ropes were loosened slowly, not cut, as the ship was released rather than pushed away. Some men looked back toward the shore, aware of what they were leaving behind. Others remained silent, already focused on the journey ahead. Once the longships left the shelter of the coast, there was no turning back. Behind them, the land slowly faded into mist. Ahead, only open water remained. No roads, no ports, no certainty. Every oar stroke carried them farther from what they knew, and deeper into a journey that could end only in arrival or in silence. Viking sailors did not rely on instruments as we know them today. They navigated by the sun, the wind, and the movement of the sea. Experienced helmsmen watched the horizon, the waves, and the birds overhead. They remembered routes, currents, and coastlines passed down through generations. In open water, the sea itself became their map. Sleep comes only in fragments. There are no beds, no true rest. Men sleep sitting upright, wrapped in wool and fur, while others remain awake. The ship never stops moving, and neither does the sea. Cold settles into muscles, exhaustion dulls the mind. On a longship, rest is temporary, vigilance is constant. Night falls quickly once the coast disappears. There are no fires, no lights, no voices raised, only the sound of water against the hull and the wind in the sail. Men sit wrapped in wool and fur, conserving warmth, conserving strength. Some sleep, others remain awake, watching the sky. The moon, the stars, the flight of birds at dusk. These are their guides now. Behind them, the land is gone. Ahead, only the sea. By the second day at sea, the body begins to slow. Sleep comes in fragments, never complete. The cold settles into clothes and skin. Men sit close together, wrapped in wool and fur, conserving what little warmth they can. Some eat in silence. Simple food, wooden bowls, wooden spoons. Others stare into the distance, fighting fatigue. There is no comfort here, only routine, only endurance. The sea moves the ship without pause, and the men learn to move with it. Days at sea no longer count. The body adapts first. Cold becomes familiar. Hunger becomes routine. The motion of the ship becomes part of the breath. Words grow rare. Men speak less, but they observe more. Every sound, every change in the wind, every tension in the ropes matters. Here, strength is not shown. It is conserved. Each man knows his place. Each man knows that the sea does not test courage. It tests patience. The sea did not care who they were. It offered no signs and no mercy. Days passed without land in sight. Only water, wind, and silence remained. Time was measured by fatigue and hunger. Thoughts grew heavier with each passing hour. Every face carried doubt. Every glance searched the horizon. They trusted the ship beneath their feet. They trusted the sea around them. Most of all, they trusted each other. Navigation was never certainty. It was patience, learned through experience. They watched the birds. They felt the wind. They read the movement of the water. Mist could hide the coast or hide their fate. Each mile forward was a decision. Each night survived was enough. They sailed on. After days spent at sea, the voyage was nearing its end. The longships, battered by wind and salt, continued forward in silence. Men who had faced cold, exhaustion, and uncertainty now watched the horizon with renewed focus. The sea had tested them, stripping away weakness and leaving only resolve. Each night and each dawn had forged the crew into a single force, bound by survival and purpose. Ahead, the coastline finally emerged, solid and unmistakable. England lay before them, not as a promise of glory, but as a land to be taken, explored, and endured. These were not wanderers lost to the waves. They were warriors shaped by the crossing itself. The long journey had hardened their minds as much as their bodies. What awaited them on shore was unknown, but retreat was no longer possible. The sea was behind them, the land was ahead, and the Viking Age was about to leave its mark.